welcome back to another reading. And if you guys are new here, hi, my name is Afra. I'm a tarot reader and I do tarot readings here on my channel. Today I am back with another reading on Afra and Mert. A lot of you guys have been requesting an update regarding the two of them, as well as a lot of my members as well. So today I am back with another reading for them. I'm going to be checking their current energies right now and seeing how their bond is right now more in depth. And I know a lot of you guys have been commenting about if they both are dating other people. And you guys have been saying things about pictures coming out or stuff like that, so I'm going to be looking into that as well. Okay, so right now I'm going to look into Mert's current energy first towards Afra. Okay, so let's take a check. So let's take a look right now first. What is Mert's current energy towards Afra at the moment? And what is their bond looking like right now? What is Mert's current energy right now towards Afra? Alright, you guys, so first of all, before I get into Mert's current energy towards Afra, I want to speak a little bit about their bond and how it's standing right now. So I recently have checked for the two of them in my members Q&A, and so I'm sort of seeing similar energies when it comes to their bond right now. So when it comes to Afra and Mert, I did tell you guys before that I do feel like that they sort of like have this on and off bond right now. They are still emotionally connected, even if they're not in contact all of the time. They still cross each other's minds. They still think of each other even when they're not on good terms. They sort of have like this emotional connection where it's not that easy for them to move on from each other, okay? And so it's hard for them. If it was easy for them to move on from each other, they probably would have done that a really long time ago, but they still feel like they are still connected in some way, and so they find it hard to move on from each other, and that's why they keep sort of having this on and off thing where they try to fix things, because it's harder for them when they're not together. Instead of trying things, like trying things is a bit easier for them because they feel like that they're at least trying, because when they're not trying, when it comes to their bond, they always think of each other and they think about the what ifs, because there isn't really a really strong closure when it comes to their bond, okay? And so where they stand right now, they are still sort of emotionally connected, but they're not fully, like, they're not dating right now, you guys, and they're not fully over at the same time, okay? And so they do have a lot of intense emotions, but they're sort of guarded when it comes to how they feel things right now. They both are guarded. Mert is guarded in his own ways, and Afra is even more guarded as well. And I've seen that in other readings as well, okay? And so they sort of have like this on and off thing where they try to work things out and then sometimes go into a period of quietness where they're not really talking and all of that, okay? And when it comes to their bond, there is so much unresolved feelings and a lot of things going on, and so it's not that easy for them to just open up a new page and say, okay, let's go back together again. And so I do feel like that's why you guys might be also confused when it comes to other third parties as well, because they're not really exclusive, okay? And things are not really fully good between them to the point that they would stop each other from pursuing other people and not really be open to other pages. And sometimes, I mentioned this in other readings as well, that one of them can feel like things are not going well with the other, and so they will try to show the other that, okay, I can do better without you and I can move on, and trying to make the other jealous, okay? So sometimes that can come into the picture when it comes to the two of them as well, okay? So how I'm seeing their bond right now is sometimes there is a period where they can talk, they can try to fix things, they can try to change things, but then there is distance where they're like, I do not want to open up to this right now. This is way too much to handle, okay? And then they sort of pull towards each other again and try to work things out. So things are really not unstable between the two of them, you guys, if I'm being honest over here, okay? But even though they try to act controlled and try to seem that there is nothing between the two of them anymore, sometimes they still care about each other still, okay? Also, work can come into the timing. Sometimes their schedules, work can come into the way where sometimes they can both be busy when it comes to filming or doing work, and um, also people speculating a lot about them has a lot to do when it comes to their bond, all right? And so they really can be careful when it comes to people speculating continuously about them, and they know that if there's something that comes about them publicly, it's gonna get really analyzed, okay? And so for them, it's not just like they are just private people together, it's just people see them as public content, and so they feel like they need to be extra careful, and that puts a sort of different pressure on them as well, okay? um and sometimes there is a bit of pride when it comes to the two of them. Like, both of them sort of never want to look too affected regarding the other. They don't want to seem very emotional. They sort of want to protect what they're feeling because they do not want to seem vulnerable. And that's what sort of is causing things to come slowly when it comes to their bond, because they don't really want to show that they're vulnerable. They don't want to show that they're open. They don't want to show that they really care when sometimes they really do, okay? And so I feel like that has a lot to do when it comes to their bond right now towards each other, okay? Now, when it comes to Mert, he definitely still cares about her, okay? And he hasn't fully moved on from her specifically, okay? He does feel that she is someone special. He does acknowledge that, but I do see right now when it comes to his current energies, he has become way more careful and way more guarded than the past current energy checks that I've seen for him, okay? He wants to make it seem that he is a bit disconnected from her right now. He wants to show her, because from his point of view, he does feel like Afra is closed off. He feels like Afra is looking the opposite direction. Like, it's like she's not really looking at him right now, okay? And so there's like this sense of him wanting, like, okay, if she wants to play this game, I can also show that I'm not really caring. I'm really just moving forward with my life, and I'm just going with the flow. And I feel like that is how he wants to think right now. He really wants things to change between them deep inside, but there is also part of him that feels that if she maybe is not really showing that she's that open to him, he wants to also show that he is going with the flow in his life, and that makes him feel like he doesn't want to really open up or want to really take big steps, because he doesn't really feel like the other side is showing the same thing. And so, like, see how you guys, they are like, one of them wants to show that they're guarded, so the other one wants to show the same thing. Like, they're both not really willing to deeply open up because they both want to show that they're guarded. They don't want to show, or they don't want to be the first to give in almost, okay? And I feel like past current energy checks, maybe Mert was willing to sort of open up a little, but there's certain things that he felt from Afra right now. He is fully, like, almost feeling that Afra is sort of not really looking his way, and so right now there's like a sense of him that's like, okay, I'm also gonna do the same thing, okay? And I do feel like that when it comes to third parties, there is definitely other options that he does have. There's other women around him that are interested in him, okay? But I'm still not seeing that he's fully in a committed, serious relationship with any of these options right now, okay? He does see those options as things that sort of already make things complicated for him, especially when it comes to Afra. So he is aware that if there is third parties, that those are just gonna make things more difficult for him and Afra, okay? But right now, like I said, they both are not really in a committed thing where they're like, I'm not gonna pursue other people because of this connection, because right now they sort of seem to have things not in a very stable way, okay? More than the other readings that I've seen, okay? But he, even though there's options that are around him, and I picked up specifically a woman around work or something that is interested in him specifically, I'm seeing that yes, he can have options. Yes, sometimes he can have these sort of short things with women, but I'm not really seeing something really committed and serious for him, because he doesn't feel like there is a woman that really is that important in his life other than Afra for him to be in a real committed relationship with her right now, okay? Yes, he can have talking stages with those women and all of that, but it doesn't seem like there's a serious relationship right now. It's almost like those short things, okay? Let me see, anything else that Mert feels towards Afra? Anything else? Anything else that Mert feels towards Afra? Anything else that Mert feels towards Afra? Sorry, I think I have been saying his name wrong this whole time. I'm not Turkish, so it's a bit hard for me to say their name. So I apologize if I'm saying their names wrong. Yeah, you guys, so when it comes to Afra, like I said, I feel like he is going through a lot of battle eternally. Like, deep inside, he does value this relationship and he does want it to grow into something serious and for them to connect again and for them to move forward. But sometimes he finds himself, like, emotionally restless and finding it hard for him to completely disconnect emotionally from this relationship, even though he knows that there is like this long path that they're both gonna have to go through so they can fully make things stable again, okay? And sometimes there's a part of him that does want to jump and there's a part of him that does want to move forward and make things good, but at the same time he knows that Afra does have certain things that she does expect from him because of certain mistakes that happened in the past. And so sometimes he finds himself like, okay, maybe it's better for me to not put expectations for things to move forward because I know that there's a lot of work that I need to put in and we need to put into this bond, okay? But sometimes he withdraws and feels like, okay, maybe it's better to lose hope. And then sometimes he finds himself wishing or looking back into that relationship because there is certain women, like I said, that are in his options, but he doesn't find that there is a woman that is like a queen like Afra is, okay? He does view Afra as the empress and he does view Afra as someone that he emotionally can connect with, okay? And so he does find it hard to find a similar connection with other women, even though sometimes he can have like sort of these short-term stages with them. He hasn't found the person that he views a future with like he did with Afra, and I mentioned it before, okay? And so he does have like a strong sense of nostalgia and emotional attachment when it comes to Afra, and so he finds it hard to let go, okay? So I hope that made sense when it comes to Mert. Right now, let's take a look onto Afra. Let's see. All right, let's take a look when it comes to Afra towards Mert. What is Afra's current energy towards Mert right now? Yeah, guys, so when it comes to Afra, she is still very much emotionally connected to him, okay? Even more than Mert is right now. Like, I feel like she is really emotionally connected to him. You can see with the Ace of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Lovers, there is a lot of emotional connection that she still holds on when it comes to Mert. But what's interesting is she's trying to move forward from this bond, and she feels like this bond is like sort of like this very difficult thing, almost like this thing that cannot leave her head, more than Mert does. Like, Mert sometimes, yes, he feels like maybe he shouldn't put his hopes up because it's a lot of work to really invest and put into this relationship, because it's gonna take a lot of effort from both of them to make things the way they used to be. But when it comes to Afra, she really acknowledges that on another level, and so she feels like, why am I still having this thing into my mind, even though that I know that it brings a lot of pain, it brings a lot of things that goes on into this bond, and I know that this is not an easy path, so why can I not forget this? Why can I get it out of my head? It's like this thing that she sort of wants to forget and move forward with her life and leave behind, because she knows that it has a lot of things that is involved to it. She feels like the bond with Mert is involved with a lot of, almost, maybe headache is not the right word, but it brings a lot of things, almost like a headache. Like, there's a lot of, you know, things that go on to it. It's not as simple as just going back together and all that. It needs a lot of aspects to be good for in order for things to be good again, okay? And so for Afra, it's hard for her because she feels a lot of attraction and a lot of chemistry when it comes to Mert, and that makes it hard for her to forget specifically for him, okay? So she definitely still cares. She still notices him a lot, okay? And she still feels tied to the connection with him, okay? And she would be happy if they can just move forward as easy as that, okay? But right now she finds herself really hard that she's trying hard to protect herself more than anything, okay? Because she knows that there are still emotions that she feels for him deep inside. And so she's really trying to sort of get herself out of this deep hole that she's almost in. It's almost like she feels like she has drowned in this connection, and she finds it really hard to get out, okay? Because she is still emotionally connected to him. She still feels emotionally connected to him. So her energy, more than anything, feels like she's still very guarded. She's still cautious, okay? And she still notices a lot of things about him and notices a lot of things about her bond, okay? But more than anything, she is really trying her best to sort of maintain control over her feelings, okay? And so she isn't really indifferent towards him, okay? It's not that she hates him or anything. Like sometimes, like I said, sometimes they connect, sometimes they do have periods where they're trying to fix things right now, but I feel like right now they're both in this sense where they're trying to sort of see the bigger picture and understand that this is something that is hard to work out, but they still haven't fully given up, even though they sort of feel like they want to be honest, okay? Let's see, what else does Afra feel towards Mert? What else does Afra feel towards Mert? What does Afra feel towards Mert? Yeah, you guys, so when it comes to her and Mert right now, from Afra's point of view, she feels like things are sort of a bit secretive between the two of them. Sort of things are in a rest between the two of them. Like there isn't really real progress that is happening right now. So from her point of view, she feels like things are a bit quiet between the two of them right now, and they're sort of at this rest, okay? And I mentioned Merit with other third parties, and I do feel like with Afra as well, there is definitely options for her as well. I'm getting that with the Three of Cups, okay? And so if she does find someone good that she can move things forward with, she would not hesitate, okay? She would not hesitate. And she feels like, in fact, that will help her sort of maybe move on from Mert, but at the same time she feels that it's not right for her to sort of maybe move on with someone when she still feels emotionally connected to Mert still, okay? And so definitely in her eyes that there has been a lot of people that have been interested in her, so she feels like she has a lot of options, but she feels that she doesn't want to go with a path in a relationship that is not going to be stable. So when it comes to her, I know I've seen a lot of comments of you guys, you know, saying if she is dating someone else and all of that, okay? So I've seen a lot of you guys commenting about that. And I do feel like right now she is not in a stable relationship as well with anyone at the moment, okay? Yes, she can be considering. I'm definitely seeing people trying to pursue Afra and trying to be around her, and maybe people around her for work, but at the same time interested in her. So I do feel like even if maybe pictures or stuff come out, I'm not really seeing that right now there is a relationship where she fully has someone that she feels like, okay, this is my boyfriend or this is someone that I'm going on with right now, because that's not really how I'm seeing her current energy as, okay? Like I said, there's definitely people that she definitely can be talking with or, you know, seeing the possibility with, but right now there is no stable relationship right now that she has with someone specific, okay? Because even if she tries to be with someone else, she's not really emotionally fully available, okay? You know, she fully needs to move on with the feelings that she does have if she wants to move forward with a relationship. And I feel like she knows that, okay? I do feel like she does have a lot of feelings that she does hold when it comes to her and Mert's bond right now. And so she knows that that needs to change if she does want to move forward. But I feel like more than anything, Afra is sort of focusing on herself more than anything, giving herself a priority, giving her independence a priority, her career as well, okay? And so when it comes to her and Mert, they both do seem to care about each other still. And more than anything, they still feel emotionally connected. Even though they try to move forward, they find it hard to disconnect. And so even when they're not really in a contact, sometimes they just find themselves thinking about each other, and that makes it hard for them to fully move forward when it comes to other people as well, okay? Now let me take some sort of cards regarding the two of them. How are both Afra and Mert feeling when it comes to their bond right now? How does both Afra and Mert feel when it comes to their bond at the moment? Gossip. Remember when I said, you guys, that they do fear, you know, what the media will say about them and all of that. So they do have a sense that they feel like they are afraid what other people will think. And I feel like especially one of them feels like, okay, if we got back together and all of that, what will people say about our bond when we keep getting back together, then breaking up, keep getting back together and that. And so there is like a big sense of one of them specifically feeling that they are afraid what other people will think. And so sometimes one of them specifically can show that they are cold when it comes to the other, when it comes to their bond. Like when people ask them, when media asks them, they can be like, they can be cold regarding their answer, regarding the other, because they seriously do not want to seem vulnerable. They do not want to seem that they care about this bond anymore, when deep down they both really do. They both really do, but they care more than they show to the world, okay? And so I feel like people's opinions regarding the two of them does come a lot with, you know, their bond, okay? And the constant speculation about their relationship. And sometimes I feel like people might expect confirmation or denial or clear answers, and they themselves do not really have a clear answer when it comes to their bond, because it's more complicated than a certain answer sometimes, okay? And so they sometimes feel a pressure to give clarity when their emotions are not even that simple. And so they feel like definitely people's opinions, gossip does have a lot to do when it comes to where their bond stands and how easy it is for them to move their bond, okay? So it does come in the way, to be honest, okay? So now for Mert, what is Mert's message towards Afra? Regret, I wish this never happened. Yes, sometimes Mert feels a sense of regret regarding certain things, maybe that he did in the past, or certain how things certainly played in the past. So there's certain things that he definitely regrets and wish never happened when it comes to their bond. Maybe he thinks that, okay, maybe if I didn't do that, maybe things would have been better between me and Afra right now, or things would have been a bit easier to sort of patch up between the two of us. So definitely he does feel a lot of regret between maybe certain decisions that happened regarding the two of them. Now for Afra, what is Afra's message towards Mert? What is Afra's message towards Mert? Damage, we are both hurting from this. Broken habits and understanding. Okay, this is really a lot when it comes to Afra, but this shows that she does feel a lot when it comes to their bond as well, okay? She definitely probably thinks more deeply when it comes to their bond. So first of all, she feels that there is a lot of damage when it comes to their bond. She feels that there is a lot of things that they're both hurting when it comes to their bond. There's a lot of damage already done. And so that's why, like, sometimes I feel like I'm telling guys that she feels that she wants to protect herself, because she feels like sometimes their bond is hurting both of the two of them, and there's a lot of damage already done. So it's a lot to put back together, okay? And so she feels like there's a lot of damage that is sometimes hurting the two of them, okay? But at the same time, she does feel broken. She does feel shattered about the situation between the two of them, because even though she knows that there's a lot of damage, it hurts her because she still feels emotionally connected to Mert, even if she sometimes shows that she's cold or she's moved on or she's doing well. Sometimes she does feel still connected to him, okay? And at the same time, she feels like there's a lot of unfinished business between the two of them. And that's why, like, sometimes they connect and they discuss things and they try to solve things, because there's a lot of unfinished business if they want to work things together, okay? And so she does feel like if they want to work things out, there's a lot of things that they need to resolve, they need to discuss. So it's just a lot of work that's almost like, oh my god, there's a lot to do if we want to work things out. So why are we even trying? But sometimes I cannot move forward, so maybe let me give this another try. So you see, you guys, how there's like this sort of this cycle going on. Like, if they're not together, they're still thinking about each other, and it's sort of not making them feel that they are free in a sense. And at the same time, when they're trying to work things out, it's not that easy, okay? And Afra feels like there's certain happens that she doesn't know will ever change. Maybe when it comes to Mert, or maybe when it comes to their bond, there are certain things that these sort of tend to happen over and over again. And so she's like, there are certain habits and there are certain things, I don't know if those will ever change, okay? And at the same time, there's a certain understanding that she does have when it comes to their bond. She knows the true nature of their bond, and she knows that no matter what, things will happen maybe a certain way. So she does understand how Mert is, and she does understand their story and how their bond is. So she does have a good sense of understanding, and she has her things from Mert's side, so she does see his side of story. But at the same time, you know, she just feels that, you know, it's a lot, you know, to work things out and all of that. So like I said, you guys, their bond is pretty complicated. There's a lot of things that need to be worked on. And so right now they're not necessarily together, and at the same time they don't really see that their bond is over, because they sometimes connect and sometimes there's periods of silence, and there's not a fully ending. They haven't really fully ended things where they're like, okay, things are over between us. They aren't in that stage right now. They probably have said that before, but like I said, in the past couple of readings, I have seen that there has been contact between the two of them from time to time. So sometimes they do connect, they try to resolve things. And so right now they're sort of at this period of silence. There's not really a really strong open communication between the two of them. And so yeah, things are a bit on and off between the two of them, and I really hope that you guys understand this reading and things make more sense. I tried my best to add information and make it more detailed as possible, okay? And obviously there can be some things in their lives that is not really showing up for me as well, since tarot sometimes doesn't show every single detail. But you know, I try to give you guys the overall picture when it comes to their bond. And so I hope this reading made sense and you guys were able to understand their bond right now in a bigger picture. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys have any more questions regarding Afra and Mert, I do have this membership where you guys could join in the description below to ask questions about them in the monthly Q&A, or even ask about more maybe Turkish celebrities or any celebrities of your choice. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this reading. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hope to see you guys next time. Bye!